Been thinking about making this a weekly thing. Thursday, fake commute. There's a little bit less weight on the bike today. There's no laptop, no clothes or anything. Slight advantage. Morning, how are we? Well, out on my bike again, as you see. This morning is a fake commute. Normally I want to head north of Crowell because this part of the audax home is horrendous. It's horrific when it's windy. And guess what? It's windy. Heading to Luddington, turning around, coming back again. Right, with GPS said it should take me about 50 minutes, I think it was. So I've left a little bit earlier. So yeah, I'd never normally come this way if it's a leisure ride, but this is a commute, or rather a fake commute. So I can't question the wind direction on a fake commute. Just got to put up with it. As I explained in my previous video, why am I commuting? Fake commuting goes back to well, when the the work from home guidance was dropped, people started returning to work. Well, even a little bit before then, I started going to work, and in the car there was no daily exercise. I'd go to a Greg's, have something there for breakfast. Daily calorie deficit was no longer there. It's just not been the case since April or whatever it is, and I barely ever look at the scales. Maybe this is your position as well. You stop looking at the scales for that long, the battery needs changing. So last time I managed to weigh myself was over at my friend's scale horn. He had someone in his bathroom, so I sneakily jumped on. I'm like 80 kilograms. I'm like, shit. Used to be about 75. So this is that kind of prompted me to do something about it. Taken a couple of weeks later to do it, but here I am attempting daily exercise. It's not just all about the weekend, not all about the weekend riding. You've got to do something Monday to Friday as well. Want to offer any sort of advice and tips? Please feel free to head down into the comments, stick something down below. Right, I'm kind of halfway East Toft, little village of East Toft. I'm going to turn a right and head up to Luddington. So far, not been too bad, that wind. There's a little bit less weight on the bike today. There's no laptop, no clothes or anything, so slight advantage. I suppose if it's a fake commute, I could actually put me back on again, but I've chose not to. I do not need to be that accurate. This is good enough. I'm out of my bike, I'm riding, that's all that matters. Coming up in this little episode later on, I'm going to tell you about what I'm going to be doing this coming weekend. It's likely, if you follow me on Strava, you already know. If you've been watching the channel over the last week or two, I've still been putting out my Tour of Wales video, so things that have come out, I've seen just a little bit. Not that it matters, I guess. But yeah, I'm going to reveal what I'm going to be doing this coming weekend. Something a little bit different. Been thinking about making this a weekly thing. Thursday, fake commute. Tell me what you think. It's always going to be something to talk about. Spend a little bit of time on Twitter, perhaps some unhealthy time on Twitter. I don't necessarily contribute much, but I'm reading stuff all the time. Unfortunately, mostly it's quite negative news comes back. But you search on Twitter and online, you come back with positive news if you look. There is actually effort being put in all around the country into cycle lanes, and particularly close to home as well, in the city of Hull, which is just over the Humber. They're actually installing, how far is it? I think it's about 4 kilometres, maybe a bit further than that, along from Hull city centre, which has recently had loads of expansion on cycle lanes and things, much to the annoyance of those poor old motorists who've been suffering. But it takes you all the way out towards Beverley Road. So I think at one point in the future I'm actually going to ride out there to see what it's like. So what's your area like, or nearby? Is there any news you can share with me? What the government be doing? I know it's very sporadic and some councils don't seem to give a jeff about people. The Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea springs to mind, but that's not the case elsewhere. There are some good stories out there. Maybe I'll talk about it on the channel one Fake Commuter Thursday. Right, I'm coming up to the halfway point, so I'm going to turn around soon and I'll tell you about what I'm getting up to this weekend. What a place to turn around. That's the marker here at Ludington. I think it's there from the Tour of Britain back in 2017, 2018. Anyway, I've got to turn around quickly. I'm going to keep moving because I've just spotted somebody from the old work, so I've got chatting a little bit. Right, I'm going to get to East Toft and then I'll tell you about what's coming up this weekend. Let's get moving. Not today, not today. It's a bit bumpy, that road. I'm going to put that into another route at some point. He actually got the KOM down there. My one and only. I wonder how long that's going to last now. I told everyone. Look at that big willow tree. Size of that. What am I up to this weekend? Long distance cycling, of course. It's kind of an audax DIY. Well, yeah, it is an audax DIY. I'm going to merge the separate routes together because 3 of them, and send it off probably this evening. Distance wise, it's 700 kilometres. And why have I chosen 700? I've not done a 500 or 600 this year. Before watching Adam Watkins videos, I've learnt something. If you go 600, you get 40 hours thereabouts to complete it. Whereas if you do a 700, you get 51 hours. So 11 hours extra to do 64 miles, 100 kilometres, which means, in short, you can actually sleep twice. So I'm going to be leaving tomorrow, Friday, doing a bit of a ride, going to sleep, in my case bivvying up. That's why it's kind of different. I'm not taking the tent, I'm going to bivvy up, ride all day Saturday, bivvy up somewhere else, ride all day Sunday. I was going to try and ride Monday as well, make it an 800, but guess what? I'm at the dentist again. Journey of 3 root canals coming up. Yay. So back to this 700 distance. So essentially it's 3 separate rides that I'm going to be registering as a 700 kilometre. Only there's a time limit involved. In the route looks fairly okay. A day in Lincolnshire, some time in Nottinghamshire, and right in the middle, cycling through the Peak District. So, because, well, you know me, I want a little bit of elevation in there. I think it's about, altogether, there's about 5,000 metres, so it's reasonably sizable, although not huge. I've certainly done more elevation in 3 days in the past, but I just wanted to, you know, make it reasonably fun. I don't want to be too challenging. Oh, here's those sheep again. Hello, Sean. My name's not Sean. Hello, Sean. Can you hear me, Sean? Stop being daft, Richard. 25/7. About 15 minutes from here. Nice tailwind. Oh, here's a tidbit from Twitter read yesterday. This is should perk your interest. Bosch. They make lawnmower stuff and engines and things like that. I'm sure you've heard of them. They, this year, bought ebike.com. The price they paid, paid $1 million for ebike.com. And apparently it's in the top 5 most paid for domains in 2021. I'm sure there's a better way of putting that. Top 5. So if big, huge company like Bosch can invest $1 million in just a simple domain name, ebike.com. Go check it out. You know, that says buckets loads where the e-bike market is going. The momentum is now tentatively underway globally. So there you have it. Finishing the vlog on a positive note. I'm going to head into Quote, out the other side, settle down, ready for work. I'll speak to you again soon. Take care, bye bye.